Alright, how's it going? So we got this fight on the weekend between Berlanga and Sheeraz, right? Fight at 168. Okay, Berlanga is coming in with, I believe he's 23 and 1. I'm not sure. I'm not too sure about his record, but he's definitely got one loss on his record, and that's to Canelo. Okay, so not a lot can be said about that, losing to Canelo. But in saying that, he hasn't fought anyone apart from Canelo. You look at the rest of his resume, and it's the next best opponent might be Steve Rolls. Someone like that, someone that's just a solid fighter, but very average. So apart from Canelo, Berlanga's been in with no one, so he hasn't really been tested against anybody decent other than Canelo. In that fight against Canelo, he got dropped early on. I think it was round 2, and then for the rest of the fight he was very passive. I guess he gave up, and just sort of strolled towards a loss. He had no desire to really bite down and win the fight, and that's how that went. But in saying that, I did think Canelo was going to stop him. He didn't. Berlanga did go the distance, so he did better than I thought against Canelo, but again, he was content with losing that fight. Sheeraz, he lost his last fight, against Carlos Adames. That's a loss on my record, right? It does have draw next to that fight on his record officially, but he definitely lost that fight. Adames won nearly every single round from, I think, round 3 or 4. It was a clear Adames win, but somehow Sheeraz got a draw. So Sheeraz is a very good boxer from the outside. He's got a very good long jab, and a good right hand as well, straight right. But that's about it. He's a guy that wants to stay on the outside. He wants to box from the outside because he's very good at it. But he doesn't have a lot of will to fight, in close, fight on the inside. That's what I saw against Adames anyway. He didn't have the ability to fight with Adames on the inside. So he's very one-dimensional, okay? A bit like Anthony Joshua. That's who I'd compare Sheeraz to. Anthony Joshua, a guy with a good jab, good straight right hand, but not a lot else. He can't mix it up. He doesn't have a plan B. That's what Sheeraz is, okay? So Berlanga can definitely win this fight, but the thing is, he's got to show more heart than he did against Canelo, because he has to get on the inside. He has to take the fight to Sheeraz and get to him. If he's passive, if he tries to box with Sheeraz on the outside, he won't win this fight. Sheeraz is too long, is too good a boxer from the outside. Okay, so I'm going to say my prediction will be Sheeraz by decision. I think I just don't think Berlanga has it in him to really, fight with a lot of dog, you could say, and make it a dog fight. Adames is that guy that will come forward bobbing and weaving and get inside and break you up inside. Berlanga, I don't think he's that guy. He didn't show that against Canelo, and apart from that, you know, he hasn't been tested at a high level. So, but if he does, if Berlanga just says to himself, you know what, I'm going for this, I'm going to chase Sheeraz down and let my hands go, I think he knocks him out. I think he can get the win. He's got power. He can at least knock Sheeraz down and win the fight that way. But he's got to be aggressive. You know, he's got to throw caution to the wind, so to speak, and really go for it. If he doesn't do that, he loses. But anyway, that's the way I see it. I think Berlanga doesn't do enough to get the win. I think Sheeraz keeps it on the outside. I don't think Berlanga will get on the inside enough to trouble him. And I think that's the way it'll go. I think Sheeraz by decision. Alright, let me know what you think.